So we get asked a lot here at Superbike magazine how we choose who gets to go on which launch. As the editor, ultimately it's my decision to choose which of my test riders goes out and rides the bikes. So recently, Anthony, the staff writer, he got the BMW GT launch in Norfolk. I think it rained. Yeah, not so good. James Witter managed to pick up the Donington launch of the CBR 600RR. I think, again, it was a little bit damp. Track temperature was about 5 degrees. Chris Northover, he recently picked up the new BMW GS launch in a very soggy, muddy Wales. That's not really my cup of tea. But it's important for me as the editor to make sure all of the guys, they get a fair crack of the whip and they get a chance to go out and ride the new bikes. Again, being the editor, I'm a busy man, don't get to get out of the office too much, so you've got to take your launches when you can, and this is the one that I've picked. Ladies and gentlemen, the Circuit of the Americas, Austin, Texas, and the new Ducati 1199R Panigale.
One of the last right-handers in the S's is really easy to go wide.
Yeah, tightens back up and comes back in on you.
Because there's a left-hander right as you crest the hill.
Panigale R number 15, my new best friend. Acres of carbon fibre, 195 horsepower, all of the trick bits that you could ever want on easily the most beautiful Ducati I've ever sat on. Let's go out and see what all the fuss is about. I've just jumped off the bike after my first session. How is Kota and how is the Panigale? They're both absolutely amazing. The back straight is phenomenal. For a rider like me, much like you, kind of average fast group track day rider, to be in top gear on a bike like this, absolutely wound to the stop, is something that you can only experience at a couple of circuits in the world. What you definitely need to do is add Kota to that list. So what's different between this 2013 Panigale R and the one that you may have bought last year? Well, the two key changes are going on inside the bike. The conrods are now titanium and the gearing has been shortened ever so slightly. What that does is it increases the rev ceiling by 500 RPM, and although the gearing has been decreased slightly, because of that extra rev ceiling that you've got, which you can hear now, the top speed remains the same. Nicky Hayden reliably informed me this morning that when he was going down the back straight, the clocks just went blank when it got to 186 miles an hour, but he said the bike was still pulling. Who am I to question what he says? What else is different with the new Panigale R? We've still got the Öhlins TTX rear shock, electronically adjustable on the dash. More importantly, down the back, we've got an adjustable swing arm pivot now. So if you're one of the lucky chosen few that bought a Panigale in the UK in 2012, next time you pop into your dealer for a service, make sure and ask for the Retrofit exhaust shields, revised for 2013. They'll bolt it onto your bike for free. Another of the Retrofit freebies for 2012 Panigale owners is the ECU upgrade. Next time you're in your dealer, ask them to plug it in, download it, and sort out your 2012 bike. If you haven't ridden any of the versions of the new Panigale, you really should book a test ride. Mr. Claudio Domenicali himself told me to make sure that I experienced that kind of flick-flack weight change feeling between turning from your left knee, flicking the bike over to your right knee. It really is unlike any other bike that I've ridden. Let's head out and have a look on board and see how that feels.
Infinity! Oh, beyond! Off the hill! Oh, I love this bit! Stay on! Stay wide! Ah, flick left! Gas, 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 gas! You're going too fast! Ah, yes, another go! The bike has got so much more to give, it's unreal! Again! Yes!
And that, people, is what the Panigale R feels like. Holy shit. With this bike we have titanium conrods and the lightweight flywheel.
And 500 RPM more.
The rev ceiling is increased by 500 RPM.
Yeah.
So the top speed stays the same, even though the gearing has been decreased slightly.
And really, the horsepower of the engine, it's a little bit more. But we didn't want really to kind of change the figure.
Yeah.
But once you experience on a dyno, you will find a bit more because of the lighter rods.
Yes, yeah. And also now the DDA has GPS. Can you just explain that a little bit to me?
Yeah, it's a feature on which it's in front of the bike. There is a GPS system. You can really redesign the track and locate the measurement of the speed and everything in every corner. And so you can kind of, like in the professional data acquisition system, measure corner by corner exactly what you're doing.
So for guys like me, if I was riding to work across central London, I can record my ride to work. Then I can go to the track for a track day and take the data for everything that I'm doing on track as well.
That is for sure. And one more feature is that being the GPS knowing where you are, it's just necessary just once when you pass on one specific place to activate it.
For lap time.
And every time you pass there, you will see the lap time changing.
Perfect. Speaking of lap times, I think maybe we have one session left.
Yeah.
So I'll shake your hand, say thank you once again for the launch. I'm going to go and get some more track
Okay,
time.
my pleasure.
Thank you very much. £26,550 for a Panigale R. It's an awful lot of money, but it really is an awful lot of bike. It's all too easy to dismiss bikes like this when you live in the real world, much like I do. My problem is I work in this fantasy world where I get to ride bikes like this every day. If you don't, at the very least, you owe it to yourself to go and book a test ride and have a see for yourself. Stick a fork in me. I'm done.